up, YouTube? Sorry for the long break, but I'm back at the Miata. K-swap Miata. It's going to happen. I'm sorry for the break, but we're here now. First mod, we're going to be doing some frame rail supports. It's just to add to rigidity. We're going to be doing a lot of frame modifications, like roll bar, front brace, fender brace, and we'll go from there. First thing and always jack up the car and shake it really well, make sure it won't come off. I was able to shake the car really well. None of the jack stands move. They're all planted on their four legs. So I feel pretty safe getting underneath this car. I am truly amazed on how beautiful this looks. Check this out. It's so gorgeous. It almost feels like a drug to install this on the bottom of the car where no one's going to see it. But first things first, every time I get a package and I'm going to install it, I make sure I have all the hardware. So you see that I have everything organized. And from there, I'll just grab a drill bit and I'll drill underneath the car. So there's a dent right here, or hump. We need to make this back to square, or at least square enough for the frame to fit in. So I'm going to be using a C-clamp to tighten it up. Oh, the C-clamp is not working that well. I'll just go with the hammer. Damn, it's dusty. I need some safety glasses. Fits. I'm gonna go with the jack stand. Jack, and jack it up so it can be nice and snug, and then I'll start drilling the holes out. All right, guys. So I'm starting from the middle. So I'm gonna start from here and work myself out in a crisscross patterns, and I'm doing two at a time. All right, guys. So I'm starting from the middle. I'm gonna start from here and work my way out in a clockwise or rotation way, or tracery way. And each two holes, I'm going to put a bolt and tighten it up, and then I'm gonna drill two more, and then tighten it up, and just keep repeating the process. So when you're here alone and you don't have another person to hold the wrench, so you gotta think about it. I'm gonna be tightening this up, so it's righty tighty, but I'm gonna be tightening from the bottom. So I need to make my own help. So I turn this all the way to the left, to as much as it will go, and make it hit a wall or something that's nearby. Or sometimes you can even put like another screwdriver or an object here to stop the wrench from just going in circles. You just gotta get creative with it, so I can tighten it down from the bottom without needing another person to help me out. Pro tip when putting these washers and nuts, what you want to do is put the washer in first, and since the bolt moves freely up and down from the other side, you want to hold the tip of the washer, just the tip, and then with the nut you can just thread it in. And what I'm essentially doing is putting pressure on the nut, on the bolt, so it won't move, it won't spin as I thread in the nut. I hope I can make it more visible right here. So I'm essentially pushing that way to keep the bolt from spinning, and then I put in the nut. Just screws in easily. Pro tip: whenever drilling or you're working on your car underneath and dust falls off or rocks, make sure to sweep and clean the concrete below, because if you're dragging your body across this, you can get an infection if you get a cut through the metal shavings or anything. So just go ahead and give it a quick sweep. so it won't bother you, avoid any possible unnecessary cuts or infections. But just keep your work area clean as you're working. Make sure you don't sweep away any bolts. But when you see metal shavings accumulate, just clean it up. All right, so I'm on the other side of the frame rail. So I did this one already. Moving over to this one. So I'm going to remove the fuel lines and brake lines. Not completely, but I take out this bolt, and there's one over here, hidden over top of the subframe. There. This one. Just gonna take them all out so the lines can be easier to manipulate, so I could slide in the frame rail. Alright, to take these off is quite simple. You just twist them and they come off. So you just twist them like this and they pop right off. And to put them on is the same way. Whichever way you want to put them, and just twist. You're going to want to remove these two clips to move this fuel filter shroud out of the way, so you can move the lines more, so you can slide in that rail. So how there's a clip right here. I missed one, and it's up there, right under the fuel line shroud. What I'm doing here, I'm putting it on the frame rail and I'm sliding the fuel lines away from it. You'll see that the separators clips were in the way, so it was easier for me to remove them, so it can be more accessible to move them out of the way. With a little bit of finessing, and I had to remove the clips that held onto the lines, so I can move this to the side. And from here, it's essentially the same process, except for the nut and bolt going this side. The nut is going to go going up instead of going down. I mean, the bolt is going to go up instead of going down. The frame rail was installed, both sides. Done. One thing that I don't like about this setup is that there's no place to put the fuel lines at and the brake lines. So I have to get creative and come up with a way to reinstall these into the car. For the fuel lines and brake lines, I decided to just put the separators on, and I'm going to leave it like this and run it for a little bit. Flying Miata reuses these, but they flatten them out and stick them down here, and I don't really like that idea because it makes your fuel line and brake lines run lower, and I want them to be as high as possible to avoid any like road debris that might get caught up on them. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's a spacer, I mean the separator, and there's like a little spacer, and you push the line all the way up. See if I can get this. It does not touch this. Like there's a quite a few gap. You can't see. There. So there's a very small gap between the bolt and the lines. So I think I'll be fine. About the rubbing of metal contact. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. No bullshit aside. I think I'll be fine like this. One of my pet peeves is that it does move a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. It does move a little bit, but I think I'll be fine. If you guys have any suggestions, if you guys install these VA Roadsters fuel lines and seen any other YouTuber install them with a better way, please comment below. Tag me on the video, or comment the video below. Improve from this. It's like my first time building a car, and it's a learning process.